Welcome back. All right, I want to talk some wrestling. So I just watched Rampage. I didn't take all the notes. I'm just enjoying watching wrestling. I take notes on hockey every night now. So yeah, the note taking is fun until you're already doing that on hockey, and then you're like, for wrestling, I'd really rather not. So I just want to touch on some points that I think AEW is doing really well. First off, their women's division has got a lot better in the last few months. There's some planning with the booking. They're actually putting women in the ring against each other that have previous history, and they're not just random matches that are there for 4 or 5 minutes. But there's some stuff I want to talk about, starting with Dark Order and Adam Page. If you haven't watched Rampage, last night's Dynamite, I think Adam Page, that ovation he got, that reveal when he got in the ring, that rivals like Stone Cold and The Rock. Like that crowd went completely bonkers when they saw Adam Page. I think they have to give him the title. He is absolutely the most over wrestler they have on a roster that includes CM Punk and Bryan Danielson. I really would put him in that category. I think Adam Page has been built up over the last 2 years. He's a legit main eventer to the point where if he ever went to WWE, I think they'd have to push him as a main event talent. The Dark Order itself has also benefited from all this. The Dark Order started out 2 years ago as we don't know what this group is. It was weird. There was a bunch of guys just in black that didn't have any, they weren't characters. There was, of course, the embarrassing not really throwing punches bit that took place at the end of a show. And then they had the chosen one, Brody Lee, come in, and of course, that really helped to solidify the Dark Order. But then, of course, Brody Lee tragically passes on. The Dark Order had been kind of all over after that, and now I really like what they've been doing. And not only that, but some of Evil Uno's little things during the match, like taking his opponent's foot, giving it to the ref, and then clotheslining him. He's done it twice now, and even though yeah, it's a spot and it's planned and it looks kind of silly, it's fun. And Evil Uno is one of the more underrated wrestlers in professional wrestling. So I love the Dark Order Adam Page stuff. I think this is great. I'm glad Hikaru Shida has finally started to show up on TV again. She's changed her look a bit. I think her style's changed a little bit as well. The shorter hair, I think, has to help you as a wrestler. It has to be frustrating to get your hair stuck in your face. It's one of those things I wonder about with some of the longer haired women. Of course, the longer haired guys, a lot of the time, they just slick their hair back, right? That's why they wet their hair and slick it back. I would imagine because it gets stuck in your eyes otherwise. But Sheeta, her fight with Serena Deeb tonight, or well, last night, was very, very well done. I really enjoyed it a lot. And I like that feud is going to continue in all likelihood. And now, if Sheeta loses against Nyla Rose can beat her using the injury that Serena Deeb puts on Hikaru Shida to put her out without making Sheeta look weak in comparison. So I think it works, right? CM Punk, he is now 5-0. I like what they're doing with Punk. That's why I got my Punk shirt on and everything. I like the character. I like what they're doing with him. I'm not sure how long it's going to take to get to that end goal. And I don't know if it's going to be the TNT title. I don't know if it's going to be the world title. But I get the feeling that there's a big feud in the offing for him. The match with Bobby Fish was very good. Bobby Fish is one of the more underrated wrestlers. I remember him and Kyle O'Reilly in ROH, and I remember thinking these guys are really good. The odd thing is, I thought, with the name Bobby Fish, I could see him not going very far in WWE. But, in WWE, of course, he was part of the Undisputed Era. I'm surprised they haven't yet, but I think at some point they will have Bobby Fish in a ring with Adam Cole. And they'll have to address that. I'm kind of hoping Kyle O'Reilly's contract ends with WWE and he ends up there as well. And we end up with some kind of confrontation, maybe Roderick Strong too. And then they all come out and they confront Adam Cole, or they team up with Cole for one night or something like that. But yeah, I think what they're doing with CM Punk is interesting. I'm just wondering what the end game is here, or if he's just going to keep coming out and beating guys, and if that's going to go on for months. The MJF versus Darby Allin, that is a feud that's really heated up. MJF is such a fantastic heel, and he plays the heel all the time. It doesn't matter if you're at an autograph signing, he's still MJF, he's still a prick. And I like that. I like that he lives his gimmick. It is such a rarity now that you see people living their gimmick. For example, Fozzie's playing a concert, and you see Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, and you've got Rebel as well, and then right next to them is Anna Jay. And they're all wearing Fozzy shirts. And it's like, Well, and again, out of character outside the ring, obviously it's different, but it's still weird to see them all together and all hanging out. But yeah, so MJF versus Darby, I'm looking forward to when that feud comes to a head at Full Gear, and I think it's gonna be fun. I do think MJF wins that match because I think MJF kind of has to get a title run somewhere. But I will say this: MJF is your classic wrestler who doesn't need a belt. There's no need to put a belt on MJF. He's fantastic as he is. So you could just leave him as a heel out there picking fights with people and ticking off the crowd. I don't think you need to put a belt on him. John Moxley's clearly turning heel. They're not even being subtle about it. What's interesting is they haven't had Kingston and Moxley as a team for a bit. I think Moxley, the next time he teams with Kingston, maybe Moxley goes a little bit over the top. Kingston says, hey, settle down. And then you build up to another feud between Moxley and Kingston, this time Kingston being the face. Eddie Kingston has become... And again, you don't like to use the WWE references, but if there's a Stone Cold equivalent, I might make that argument that it's Eddie Kingston. That he is just he is a man of the people. He is not an overly muscular. Now Stone Cold was, but he's not. He just seems like a good down to earth guy who is just out there trying to feed his family, and he's just taking care of what he has to, and I think he's done a very good job of it. So, big fan of Moxley, big fan of Eddie Kingston as well. And I wanted to close out with Britt Baker. She's doing a great job with that title. Her feud with Abaddon is likely going to be a short one as we build up to other feuds for her. But I think Britt is fantastic. I do think at some point Jamie Hayter's going to get a little too big for her britches. And then there's going to be a fight between she and Britt Baker. I think eventually that happens. But yeah, or Rebel ends up being tired of being put down by Britt, and then there's a fallout there. But I don't think Rebel would end up in the title picture, but she might end up managing somebody else who is. So yeah, I'm very appreciative of everything they're doing right now. I think it's kind of fun. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.